What's up guys, Sam here from Samcraft. Welcome back to the workshop. In today's video, I'm going to be doing something that I've done a lot of, but something that I've never done before. In today's video, I'm going to be using the xTool P2 along with this, a 1/4 inch or 6mm thick sheet of black opaque acrylic, and I'm going to make some of my French Cleat cordless tool holders. I'm going to see how well does it work. Is this something that is going to be completely tremendously awesome or an absolute waste of material? I'm not sure yet, but let's find out. I'm going to take this sheet of acrylic, plop it down here in the xTool. We'll go ahead and line it up with the front case of the machine. I don't have any kind of a fence system or anything yet, so I found that just taking my material, pulling it all the way forward, gives me the best results to make sure everything stays square. Not for any reason with the machine, since I fixed the issues with squareness, but just so that I maximize and don't waste my material. That's really the only point I get picky about squareness. Alright guys, at this point, ready to load up the file and press start. Go ahead and make ourselves an acrylic tool holder. Not so fast there, Sam. You need to slow your roll. You have been running and making all of these in Lightburn, which is awesome and fantastic, but that xTool P2 is not really completely, totally compatible with Lightburn just yet. The machine is, sure, but all the advanced features, they're missing in that program. So that means I get to convert my file from Lightburn format into xTool Creative Space format. This is probably something that any person who has a P2, and it not being their very first laser, is going to have to do. Going to have the fun of doing, but it's a necessary evil at this point. I have my file opened up here in Lightburn. What I'm going to do is go ahead and select my vectors that I want to export out of Lightburn, save as a vector file, and then I'll import them into xTool Creative Space. For the purpose of this video and this experiment, I don't want to try engraving everything. I'm not going to make a finalized cut card that gets shipped out with these orders and things that I usually do. I'm just going to select these black vectors and take them over. Those are just the tool holders. So that's really all I need for this test. So I will click and drag, selecting all of those, press the shift key and click on that one. Make sure I've got just the black vector selected and only one copy, that's all I need. Then I'll go up here to File, Export. File type is already SVG, so I'll just name this, looks like I might have already exported this once. French Cleat Holder 2. Why not? There's no telling. I probably have already done this. Anyway, go ahead and save this. Now we can get out of Lightburn. We can open up xTool Creative Space and import that SVG file into a new project. Alright, we have connected to the P2. We have our updated camera image of our acrylic sitting there, looking pretty, waiting for something to happen. Let's go up to the image button here, which is actually how you import vectors. Browse to it and import that vector we just exported from Lightburn. Alright, well, we can see that I must have selected a little bit of a text because it's got 2 layers that imported. That's okay. It's easy enough as holding down the control key, using the scroll wheel on my mouse. We'll kind of zoom in on this, kind of click, drag, highlight, and just delete those out of here. Not that one. Delete, delete, delete. Now I'm holding down control key, scrolling back with my mouse, and that looks good. I only have one layer, the black layer, and it's the ones that I want to cut out. Since the acrylic is laying in the machine as it is, I'm also going to go ahead and rotate this around 90 degrees just to maximize the use. It looks like it probably would fit, but I don't want the bottom edge to cut into the knife bed holders. If you look down here, this little line portion with this highlighted section, if I go to the left across, that's getting really close to my knife bed holders. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to select everything. I'll go up here to rotate and I'll just type in 90, press enter, and there we go. Good to go, rotated. We're going to move these guys up a little bit, but what I want to do now is rotate it another 180 degrees. The reason I wanted to do that is so that I have a corner up kind of close, so I can click on the capture close view, bring the little camera box over here, click once, let the machine take its picture, import it into xTool Creative Space, And from here, I can get more fine detailed drag and drop, put it right up there in the corner of the material. I think that's probably good enough. We'll leave it there. Next step is Sam practicing what he preaches, showing you the proof in his pudding. 1 second, and let me be right back. Welcome back to the show. I have here Sam's pudding, his cutting test on 1/4 inch acrylic from the xTool P2. So using this, I'll now know exactly what speeds and power settings to use to cut through this acrylic with good results, not melt it, set it on fire, or waste my time and not completely cut all the way through. Looking at my cutting test, I'm going to pick 7 millimeters per second at 75% power. That should give me complete cut through on everything, not be super slow to take so long, but still get everything done in the one pass that we need. So we'll punch in our settings here, then we'll send it over from xTool Creative Space to the machine, press that magical button, and make it. Or watch it be cut out. While I'm here, and to save myself sanity in the future, I'm going to go ahead and save this as a custom setting. So right here I can click on this little floppy disk icon, which do young kids nowadays know what that really is? I'm going to click on the icon and I'm going to give it a name of 6 millimeter acrylic cut. That'll tell me, 6 millimeter acrylic cut setting. Looks good. We'll go ahead and click on start. It is processing. Oh, it's telling me I didn't put in the thickness of the material. So let's do this. Let's test how accurate the P2 auto focusing material thickness thing is. So I'm going to click on the little aimed measure icon. I'm going to bring it right on top of this. Click it once. It's doing its magical stuff. It beeps to tell me that, I don't know, it did something. Oh, auto measure failed. Well, that's okay. I know this is exactly 6 millimeter acrylic. I'll figure out the auto measure fail thing later. Alright, now we can click start. It is generating and showing our preview. Looks good. Click on start here. That beep tells me this machine is ready to rock and roll. Get up, walk over, do your final look through, and press that magical button to make some acrylic tool holders. Well, this is the point in the video that I tell you that I'm an idiot. I put it on 7% power and 75 speed. That's why it was going ludicrously fast and it didn't cut anything out really. So that's okay. I've not touched anything. Perhaps this will be an accuracy test for the P2. How well does it do job to job if you don't touch? Let me actually put in the right settings this time and then we'll do the job. For reals. There you are. Ah ha 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 ha. We have pieces. Let's put it together. When I went down the rabbit hole of a little bit of research before making this video, just a little, I found that this product, Weld On, is what is supposed to be the best kind of adhesive or bonding agent for gluing acrylic together. So that's what I'm going to be using. Weld On. Weld On 3. It says I got a working time of 1 minute and a fixture time of 2 minutes. So, yikes. I'll have to get into action, won't I? Gotta be careful. It's a good thing I put a handful of these together, I guess, right? We'll see. To make this as absolutely awkward as possible, I have the glue here, or whatever it is. It's acrylic, it's glue. No brush is included, so I got a syringe that I normally use for epoxy pours. I'm going to be using that to try my best and apply it to the pieces. And then I've got some blue gloves here. I kind of smushed them together, put them together. I don't think this is going to glue my gloves together. And I also put some of the stuff in here, worked it back and forth, and it's not glued that either. So I think I'm okay. I'm not sure. I just think I'm okay. All right. First step is to remove our paper masking from the acrylic. I suppose I could get fancy and try and only remove the parts that need to be glued and then leave this on so that everything else can be peeled off later, but I'm not generally a fancy person, so I'm not going to do that. As we proceed with today's project video, I want to give a thanks to today's material sponsor, and that is MakerStock. They're a US-based company that sells laser plywood, acrylic, and tons of other materials, not just for laser engravers or CNC, basically anybody who makes stuff. They're pretty cool. There's a link to them down below, and thanks to them for supplying me with this 1/4 inch or 6mm thick opaque black acrylic. Before I put any kind of adhesive on this, I want to do a dry fit. Make sure everything cut out fine with the acrylic, since it is the first time I've ever used it with this file. I believe the P2 CO2 laser's kerf is a little bit wider than the other one that I've been using. Some of these cuts are a little bit off. They're not too bad, but they are not flush like I'm used to. So I probably need to run the machine through some tests to find out what its actual laser kerf is and take that into account with my design file. But have no fear, I'm going to proceed with this because why not? Let's see what happens. As I put on my Smurf gloves, I want to remind you, this is the first time I've ever done this, so this is going to be awkward. This is probably not going to go very smooth at all. This is not what I would recommend you use at all. Get a little brush, that should work better. But you know what? I'm just forging ahead with what I've got because I'm that way. I'm going to go ahead and line up these pieces here first. I'm hoping that I'll get a microfiber cloth, clean that, put a bead of adhesive, then flip this one up. Same thing here, bead of adhesive, flip it up, and then really quickly somehow work this in, that in. I don't really know. Let's just roll with it. Here we go. I've got 1 minute until this stuff sets up. We've got a minute to win it. I don't think I'm getting very good contact with that. Let's really slather it on. Whoops. A little accident there. Alright, this one is glued into place fairly well. I'm going to go ahead and attach this little piece here at the back. We'll get this guy glued in. And let's see if I can quickly get this glued into place next. Oh, great. Well, a whole bunch of glue just sprayed everywhere. Yeah, this is great. Watch me do this, guys. This is amazing. Let's just roll with it. It's all hands on deck now. It's just crazy time. Alright, I've resorted to cradling it like a little tiny baby, holding it together, waiting for the glue to dry, hoping that everything works out. This is definitely not what I would call optimal. I probably should not even really show this on camera, but I'm in it to win it at this point. Don't know what I'm winning unless it's a, I don't know, terrible don't do this award. But hey, I'll take what I can get. I'm going to try and add a little bit of adhesive here. Yep, that's a lot. Good job. Syringe is terrible. Don't use a syringe with this. This is insanity. That's in pure... Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yep. Alright, for good measure, let's just cross-contaminate the whole batch by putting the leftovers back in there. It's gone so crazy the camera doesn't even know what to look at. This is where I pretend that things went awesome. And what we've got here is the most coolest thing you guys have never seen before. But you guys know the truth. That was a mess. Alright guys, our minutes have elapsed. This thing has set up and cured as much as it will until about 24 hours. They say it's totally good at that point. But hey, I'm going to shake and bake while I got it. It looks good. I mean, at this distance, you're probably like, man, that is sharp. But up close, it's a little bit homely. It's got some scar tissue going on where I bathed it in the weld-on adhesive and then tried to wipe it off, and some of my gloves stuck. But that's not this fault. It's my fault. That's what I get for trying to use a syringe to apply this stuff. That is absolutely not the tool to use. So, all of that aside, the black acrylic looks really sharp. That looks really good for a French cleat tool holder. But you know what? In Sam's hand is one thing. Over there on the tool wall, that's a whole other world. So let's go over there. Alright, Sam's messy glue-up job aside, that looks pretty sharp. That actually looks really sharp. It allows the tool holder to just hold the tool, not stand out as much. And if you have some really expensive, awesome, great tools and want to show them off, yeah, that thing does it. I mean, I'm looking at you. That's not the tool holder, that's the tool. It's like, pow! Anyway, so hey, all in all, I guess I had some success. A lot of learning curves. Hey, the first time you ever do anything, you're going to learn a lot from it. So you know what? Let's recap. What has Sam learned? Well, in today's video, I learned to double check your speed and power settings when filming in xTool Creative Space to make sure you don't just waste time. I also learned, remember, don't touch that machine. Do not put your hands in it till the rides come to a full and complete stop, aka your job is done and you've cut it correctly. I've also learned that applying weld-on adhesive with a syringe is not useful at all, and that you want to be more careful. Maybe there's a better adhesive out there. I wonder if super glue will work, or CA glue. These are all things that I'll experiment with off camera. Regardless, I appreciate you guys following along. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. You got to see the machine cut acrylic. You got to see weld-on adhesive in use. You learned how not to apply it. And you got to see a tool holder. So, pretty cool. If you're interested in acrylic tool holders, as of the making of the video, I don't have them available, but I'll put a link down below where you can get the wooden ones. It's everything you do see on the wall over there. I'm also toying around with the idea of selling the digital file. I know a lot of the people that watch my channel have their own laser cutters, their own laser machines, possibly CNCs as well, and providing the SVG files is probably pretty handy. While a part of me does not want to do that and hasn't done it yet because I don't want somebody to take it and just start selling a buttload of them with me not being able to sell a ton, I also know that kind of cuts out a lot of you guys who have your own machines and are just looking to make some with your machine for your own use. So, that all being said, I'm sitting on the fence. I don't know where I'm going to go, left or right, but hey, you can find me here or on the other side whenever you watch this. The links down below should tell you. As always, appreciate you guys watching, coming along, hanging out with me in the workshop. If you had fun, give me a thumbs up. If you learned something, you can give me a thumbs up if you want as well, or leave me a comment. Otherwise, take care. I'll see you guys next time in the workshop.